Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers, let's go.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Hello! Welcome to a much late recorded Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, but we get it out there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
It's late recorded, not late at night. It's
No.
right fucking early,
Way
and we're
too
ready
early.
to go.
Can Crushers. Way too early. That's Sir Michael Jenks. I'm Mark the Mark, a random recording time because life, weather, and the fucking snow apocalypse.
The three certainties in life. You thought it was death, taxes, and whatever the other bullshit you want to do with it. It's Snowpocalypse 4.0 at 12.0 at this point in your neck of the woods.
And Stubby. Didn't help out either.
Well, you can't help that.
No, I know. Sir Michael Jenks, listen, this is a wrestling podcast, but everybody knows we're doing something around college football season, and this has been waiting because if you guys put two and two together, last week we recorded on a Thursday because our schedules are fucked right now.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast in the wintertime. I mean, it's just one of those things where, hey,
this is
we
my
got
first winter that I despise, by the way. I used to I'm sitting at home doing nothing.
I know. That's what happens when you're the popular man at work.
Yeah.
But it happens. Hey, we're making it through.
We are. We're good.
We can do this.
We still got to listen, so it's that's going to come back and bite me in the ass. Nonetheless, we're doing something in college football next year where we both like our number one teams, and just by luck of grace, I have my Pitt stuff on today. Jenks will still be an Oregon fan, but a friend of a friend sent this link over and said, hey, buy these mystery things. They both came in last Friday, so it would have been released on last week's show if we would have recorded early.
Yeah.
So, do you have yours? Do you want to go at the same time?
Yeah, if you want. Let me get it ready for you.
That's what I'm doing off screen. All right.
Okay.
And then we'll both reveal to the people.
You know, what's going to be funny is we're going to do this, and it's not going to show up because we have backgrounds on, but we'll see if this works.
Okay. 3,
2, 1. Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work at all? Okay, well.
Wait, I saw yours. Yours is Michigan State.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I got Georgia.
You have a fucking powerhouse.
I know. What was sad was I opened it. Kimberly came home and I opened it and I'm like, man. And she goes, what? I go, I got Georgia? And she's like, is that a bad thing? I go, well, they can possibly win it, but I wanted some bumfuck nowhere school or some Division II, or even, I would have taken Michigan State.
Listen, a couple of reasons. I'm happy for Michigan State. One, because I don't know if I'm a fan of the cream sweatshirt that I got, by the way. Not that they saw this. Maybe in time we'll take pictures and so you guys can see it for college football. I'm not a fan of the cream sweatshirt. I do like Michigan State's green. I do.
Yeah.
They're not good in the Big Ten.
They're not. Yeah.
So I can get behind that. And it's easy to watch because they're on the Big Ten network, so I'll be able to watch all their games.
Exactly. See, I don't mind cream sweatshirts. Here's the problem. This white shirt, gonna get dirty and stained in the first try. I got a Tampa Bay white long sleeve shirt last year. It fucking had coffee on it, and I can't get that shit out.
Coffee is the worst thing to get out.
I know. It's absolutely, ass at this point. But,
I got coffee on my Terry Steinbach Oakland Athletics jersey, and it's kind of ruined.
Oh, that's not
Granted,
good.
it was one of those jerseys that Greg Daniel ordered for me.
Hey, you know what? It served its purpose.
It did.
What was I was gonna say something. Oh, well, going off this train, there's going to be a third team I have to root for, and I'm not happy about it. Well, I'm happy for them, but not happy about it. Let's just say I have to root for another Big Ten team that I traditionally dislike with a passion. They are red and scarlet, or scarlet and gray.
I have to root for them.
We have a college-level person going to college who's basically chosen Ohio State at this point. Nothing's official yet.
Ooh, so, yeah, don't be giving names and ruining.
Yeah. So, yeah. There'll be
I can't wait till you come on here. Wear an old, what's his name? Buckeye?
See, I don't mind Brutus the Buckeye.
Brutus, yeah.
Brutus. Yeah, black. It's going to be black. I'm wearing black.
All right, but that's long term. This is just for the year, so you have to be a Scorpio fan.
Well, that's what got me too.
I do like Uga, though.
I love Uga. Listen, I love all the mascots. Uga, top 5.
Yes. Sparty's okay.
Yeah. I'm thankful it's not Alabama. Right. I did not want the Tide. And if you're from Alabama or like Alabama, you know I hate Alabama.
Yeah, you've
been listening long enough. This is just a passion. I hate Alabama. But, yeah, I'm good with Uga too, so.
I wonder maybe next year if they say, hey, these guys ordered from us last year, maybe they want a deep team or something. Maybe they were just like, yeah, let's feel these guys out and see.
Yeah.
So
I will say this. I love this idea when you brought it to me. And this is fantastic. This is like Christmas morning at this point.
I know. I'm excited for it.
It's fantastic. So I'm ready. I'm going to probably win, but that's different. So I'm hedging my bets here.
You have Georgia and Oregon.
Yeah. And technically Ohio State, if you want to throw that in.
That's not in the bet.
I understand that, but
I have Pitt, who's mid all the time, and then Michigan State that hasn't been in about 10 years.
Listen, Pitt will mature this season and not lose 5, 6 straight, whatever it was the end of the year.
6.
They'll be 8-5.
Oh, so they're only losing 5. Go F yourself. Go F yourself. They have a big game to start the season off against Duquesne, though. How was your week, sir? How's everything going?
It's been a week. I don't know. The last couple weeks have just felt long and dragged out. I don't know if we're hitting the winter blues, if you will, that January, February kind of like slump of things, but it just feels like it's
going on.
There's nothing going on. It's dragging. So I will say the bright spot of it all has been like wedding planning and all that stuff. And you guys can quote me on that and be surprised if you want. But the wedding stuff has been kind of the bright spot in this week, just getting us from day to day to day to day. It's been a nice welcome distraction, I think. So that's been good. How about you? How's your week been?
Absolutely shitty. Just call outs and readjustments of schedules, trying to get some basketball games in to do the right thing for the kids around the area, to go right back in, this, that. It's been horrific. When we're recording this, just mere hours later, I have to go to do a basketball game to then jump in the plow at some point because we're getting 4 to 5 here today. Yeah.
Do you think tomorrow is going to be an off day, or do you think you're going to be
clean up?
Clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably going to get in trouble because after the basketball game, I'm coming to get Max, and he's riding with me in the plow. The poor guy has been by himself way too much.
Yeah.
So.
He's not going to distract you any.
Not at all.
Not at all. He's going to be the greatest, just be a nice companion to have.
Yeah.
Listen, I have my cousin up here does plow. He will do Snapchat and whatever, just be like, okay, here I am in the plow, here's the song of the day, and just kind of drive off. So I think if he's fine doing that, you should be fine with Max in the car, just kind of in the plow.
As long as I put his hoodie on, he'll be happy.
Exactly. They should get him a Streets hoodie.
I probably could.
I think you need to.
Street Crew.
Street Crew would be perfect.
You would love it. You really would. He really loves putting his clothes on anymore. Jenks, I do have a big announcement that you don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
You should know this.
Okay.
Because I have been making time for this, I am at 4 Shamrock Shakes for opening week.
Good call. Very nice. I have not had any yet. I need to get after it.
You do. You're disappointed.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to be good, and by good it means I'm doing blood work in a couple weeks, and I want my sugar levels to be lower. So I've been failing horribly, by the way, because I've gotten back on candy this week, and it's like, okay, well, what the fuck was the point? So it might end up being Shamrock Shake time at some point this weekend.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I want it. I didn't have one last year because I did it over Lent.
Oh, that's right.
And I never got it beforehand, so I just missed out on the opportunity last year to get a Shamrock Shake. Maybe I'll convince she'll be down. Get a shake today.
You can't give up these for this year.
No.
It's wedding season here. You have to. It's a present every once in a while.
They brought back the Irish uncle of Grimace, didn't they? Seamus, or whatever the fuck his name is. Seamus Shamrock or whatever the fuck he's rolling with. First time in 40 fucking years.
Oh, and by the way, I have that too.
You're just rolling in the deep today with everything.
Really am. I really, really am. I've just lost complete track of thought and what's going on. I pulled the trigger on baseball already, too, by the way. Just an FYI.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You were clamoring a bit. I got 24 for free last year because they were giving it away on the monthly special, so I'm going to indulge in that and take that this year as the win. But you college baseball is in it.
Yeah.
100%. I've been looking at it. It looks pretty good.
It comes out the day before my birthday, so that day will be a day off of work.
There you go.
Get the whole weekend to play it. Leave me alone.
Don't talk to me. I love it.
Do the podcast, of course, but
right.
It just came to my head. It's on my head right now, in fact.
Oh, I see it.
I forgot to mention this last week. Baseball season has begun.
It has.
Baseball is out in Arizona right now. I've watched like 3 of their 6 games so far. That's why I'm a little tired this morning, because I stayed up until whenever to watch it. But, yeah, it's baseball. And then, as recording, this week is the return of pitchers and catchers for MLB. So,
about time.
The weather's getting better because baseball season's right around the corner.
I agree. And here's the problem. Here's the other problem I got going on right now. Excuse me. My finger is looking to pull the trigger on like merch for Major League Baseball. I have a shit ton of Ray stuff in the cart on Fanatics. I just want to go. It's all on sale, but it's also like I don't need this much fucking merchandise to hit go. But
especially the year that you're planning a wedding.
Oh yeah, paying, buying, going, doing a wedding, all of that stuff. So I'm getting close on that regard. We gotta shift back the games real quick. I know we're not buying it this year, but the 2K stuff for WWE is looking mighty fine, especially that archive arena.
It is. I'm not buying it, but it looks like it could be. And I think it's a bonus that It's just for the next gen games.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about this last week. It's something that will be carried forward then because it's already built in. It's their sample platter for this year to build off of it for next year.
Yep, and which is perfect because this is what people have been clamoring for. Just build it for next gen. People on the old gen, sorry about your damn luck, but
it's been 13 years.
It's been 13 years. I made the transition last year finally. You got to get on the horse because even this current gen is about to end.
It really is.
Which really is coming out. There's going to be a PS6 at some point, probably in the next couple of years. The list goes on and on. So it's time. It's time. We get to jump off the fist again from SmackDown. There's NXT Parking Lot Brawls. There's a bunch of great, cool features that I'm excited about. But again, I have to play the actual game that I bought last year to justify spending the money.
Again, yeah.
Again, because I did 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row I bought the game, and I'm like, I didn't play it as much as I think I should have to justify the cost that I bought for it. So.
Did you physically... Wait, first off, I don't even remember, because mine has now been deleted. Whatchamacallit, the AEW game.
Oh, I haven't played that in...
I deleted it.
At least
I will not go back to it.
It never made the trip to the PS5.
Oh, so it's officially deleted. Not officially.
It's not officially. It's still on PS4, but yeah, they tried, but I don't think they put it. They did the right concept, but they didn't execute it right. We've said this before. Yeah. If they would have built it for the PS4, PS5 standards, I think it would have been the game. A great fucking game, but they just didn't do that.
The nostalgia for about a month or two was unbelievable, but you didn't put anything with the nostalgia. It went away.
I think well, that's exactly it. And I think you can do nostalgia, but do it on a newer platform in the terms of remaster it, make it look like it's supposed to be on this new platform.
And then Fire Pro should combine is what needs to happen.
I agree. You're already doing the crossovers with Japan anyways. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Because then you can get All Japan, AEW, CMLL, Stardom, everything.
Yeah.
You do that, it's night and day.
And you allow any creative wrestler, if you want to drag people from WWE over and make them look legit, not just like me or you in the game.
Exactly.
You get that creative wrestler. Yeah. All right. This will be a shortened version of the podcast, essentially. So we'll dive into headlines, headlines are going to supersede what happened last week. So we're kind of all over the place this week, but stick and stay. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Two things happened Friday, Jenks, that blew my mind, and I think they take headlines for me.
Yeah.
In one is something from a man that I was not a fan of, but he may now get a t-shirt in my life.
LA Knight on national TV basically advocating for men's mental health and saying, if you gotta cry, go ahead and cry. You're allowed to cry. And I think that, bravo, because that does not get said enough. I think, but on a national platform, I know we say it all the time on here, but if on a national platform, national television, in front of the world on a Friday night, because nobody's watching anything else.
Somebody as hot as him, because listen, I know he's one of the top pops.
Yeah, he's one of the top pops. Going out there, LA Knight going out there and advocating for men's mental health was a welcome surprise and a needed surprise for some people, I think.
This guy's raising his hand because
of
the week that I had.
Yeah.
So I want to stop there because this is kind of goes hand in hand. Wednesday I was having a day, okay? Just a day. And I also had a basketball game that night for hometown and another town like 5 miles down the road. Know all of the girls. It ends up being senior night. 3 of them are graduating with Ethan this year, so I've kind of grown up with them. Same ones in the other town since we co-op with them and this, that, and the other thing. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do the game. Oh, shit, it's senior night. I definitely have to do the game. But I was still blah. Already know that we're going in because Thursday we got the ice storm.
Right.
Knew we were going in at 3 o'clock Thursday morning. Cool. This is just going to extend another sleepless night, yada, yada, yada. I show up. I get everything set up. They're doing senior night. And then seniors are able to throw stuff out into the crowds. Didn't know any of this. The one senior comes over and hands me her warm-up jersey. Thank you for everything that you do for us.
That's
thank
amazing.
Thank God my counterpart on the radio said, oh, he's not crying. Don't forget, Mark is just sick. Because I broke down instantly on air.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, Megan, I love you so much. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Talk about the spark in my ass that I needed for the game and to go back into work at 3 o'clock Thursday morning. It's cool.
It's amazing what a little bit of recognition or love gets you, or acknowledgement from somebody that they acknowledged you. It wasn't expected. And rightfully so. Who would expect that? They're doing their warm-ups. They're doing their senior nights. You know, there's other things, people and all that stuff.
Mom, grandma, grandpa, everybody like that in the crowd that you just give it to the radio guy.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's how much of an impact you've made on their lives and people's lives around there. And that's just a great reminder. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that was my, pick up love story. It's, I'll say this, and again, if everybody goes off, I don't care. God works miracles, and that was definitely a miracle that night. I mean, minuscule miracle in the realm of the world, but he was just like saying, hey, they got you, Mark. Don't worry. No matter what happens.
We'll take care of you.
By the way, plowing all day Thursday, ABBA is my jam to plow to because it is so just like low key, just
Okay, I'll buy that because I was like ABBA, like I feel like you'd be like trying to get like something to pump you up or you get like 12 hours into the shift.
It was just like a sense of, all right, you're here for 12 hours, just ride it out. Yeah. A little SOS, a little Fernando, a little money, yeah. It was a great day of plowing, essentially.
That's good.
And the next thing that happened Friday night as we transition quickly, some I'm going to miss, Jenks. Some have been released several times. Yeah. But WWE starting the releases prior to WrestleMania this year.
Yeah. And 5 were released basically overnight, last Friday night into tonight. AOP and Paul Ellerling, who were in deep with Karrion Kross and that whole storyline. Blair Davenport, who had that emotional response to getting drafted to SmackDown. We thought she was going to be part of the future plans. It wasn't right now, but later. Cedric Alexander, who, man, that one, getting signed from the Cruiserweight tourney and getting to this point, that one of the most underrated finishers in wrestling. And then finally, our girl, Sonya Deville got released, which I think, I'm betting it was maybe her contract was coming up anyways, so it was just like, okay, we'll see you, or maybe she wanted to take that step back, and with everything going on with Asuka and everything that's happened to her, it was probably, let's take the step back and just go private.
Yeah, it might have brought up stuff for Sonya. I think, we speak of Cedric, I'm going to run down him real quick.
Yeah.
Cedric, from that tournament and seeing him grow up essentially Bebop in and out of IWC a lot. I don't know if anybody's used him correctly.
Right.
Because he's just so uber athletic. Could he make the transition back to AEW because he was there for a hot minute as well? The Hurt Syndicate's there. He's a perfect fit.
You know, I had that thought this week. I'm like, man, Cedric coming back here. Because it seemed like the old Hurt business.
Yeah.
Bring Cedric in, that's going to be, I think they do him right at that point, but go on.
AOP and Paul, listen, this is, honestly, I don't know if it's their second or third time that they've been released. Like,
yeah, I think it's maybe second. I don't know.
They just have never been booked. I don't know if Final Testament ever worked, essentially.
No, I mean, their NXT run was great. Ever since they came up in the main roster, they were misused, mishandled.
Injured.
Just a missed opportunity with them.
Who is the other one? Not so.
Blair.
Blair, yeah. Blair is, man, she's done so much on the indies. And, I watched her climb up through there to get signed, do some cool stuff in NXT. And then, yeah, she is going to, and we thought, her and Unholy Reunion.
Yeah.
We thought this is a perfect matchup for all three of them, this, that, and the other. She is going to be somebody as a player, maybe not the top of like, a Becky or a Rhea or anything like that. I don't know. But the one that, and we've said this since we started this podcast, we wanted Sonya and Asuka to do it when Asuka was, champ and they were exchanging blows and everything. I just think Sonya has been underused or just not used correctly her whole time there. What does this do for PFC, whatever the hell it's called?
Yeah.
Hopefully it blows that up, though, in general. Where do we think some of them are going? Does Sonya take time off? TK can't sign all of them because he's got way too much in his pockets right now.
Yeah, I think AOP and Paul, they're just stepping away. I don't think they're going to pop up anywhere.
Indies
maybe, doing a couple bookings. Blair definitely is going to get picked up somewhere by somebody.
You can go back home, essentially.
Yeah.
Run amok over there and start them right back.
Exactly. I think the only person that would sign in AEW or TK would get pushed to actively sign is Cedric. He fits the mold. And honestly, it's Ricochet's doing wonders there under this tutelage, so why not Cedric? I think that's their biggest one. Sonya, I just think just maybe going home and just saying, I'm living my life.
I think so, because now I know it's a partnership essentially with TNA, okay? But listen, I'm sure WWE is still pulling some strings through them or whatever. These are just my thoughts. So Sonya to sign with TNA is essentially still, we've already said this is a couple-year project before TNA is WWE.
Right.
The TNA is not a place that people are going to go sign anymore unless they run it by TKO and Trips, essentially.
Yep. Oh, 100%. There's a reason they're in the TKO's pocket at this point because that's what this deal is. Get them. So you're absolutely right. It's check with the mothership before we actually go buy or pick up somebody new. So that's just the way it is.
I do hope Sonya takes whatever time she needs, and maybe she does a con or, whatever.
Yeah.
But again, that's got to be through her mental health. I would assume the same thing Asuka's going through kind of rekindled some stuff with Sonya.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's basically the same thing. Yeah. And this is why people need to keep yourselves in check. As fans, keep your shit in check and realize that these are entertainers and not people that want a personal relationship with you. That's not how this works.
Sonya doesn't want to date me.
Yeah. She doesn't want to date it? Yeah, I know.
She's married.
Sorry to break your heart.
Beautiful woman. To be a creeper, those two are beautiful. They're an amazing couple. I follow both of them on TikTok, and They're stupid, by the way. And I mean that like a me and you. They do stupid stuff all the time, and it's so much fun.
But that's a power couple dynamic.
They are. They really are a power couple.
You own it, and you love each other, and that's how you go forward. So, anyways, to all the fans out there, keep it in your pants. Nobody wants you to be invading their privacy. Yeah. Come on.
Do you have anything?
No, I didn't think I was going to say keep it in your pants on this podcast. But no, nothing. I would say mental health wise, because that seems to be a theme going right now with releases and what LA Knight said. Just reach out if you need help or you need somebody to talk to. Find somebody to talk to. Throw us a message. We'll get back to you, whatever it may be. But just remember that you have people in your lives that take care of you and that will talk to you.
Even if you don't know, it's a senior in high school giving you a shirt.
Acknowledgement and getting that recognition sometimes can go a long way and help somebody out.
I will throw this one out because this has been my saving grace, essentially, for the last month and a half. Mm-hmm. It's called Bible Chap. It's an app on your phone. Do a verse a day. It has really honestly has changed my life in the last month. 5 minutes a day. Just read a verse. It's unbelievable.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Funny adjacent. I introduced Kimberly to probably the most famous wrestling Bible verse that there was. Austin 3:16 the other day. Because of AEW, there's somebody wearing an Atlanta 3:16 shirt in front row. And she's like, I know you explained that to me, but what is it? And then I said, well, John 3:16. So we looked that up and we read it again. And then I said to her, well, this is Austin 3:16. And then I played her the whole promo. She was entertained, to say the least. So
it all matters.
It all matters. It all connects. The holy book of ass whip. It will connect.
Well, guys, we're not paying any bills today. You know where to find us. You know where to listen. You know all of that stuff. Caller Now is down. We finally got an email about that. They're doing some due diligence to their site, so keep it holding for all of that, just so if you're listening to past ones. Big thing to tell you, though, Ask Can Crushers is coming February 22nd. It's Jenks' birthday, so we're going to celebrate with that.
Exactly. And I already have 1 to 2 questions ready to go for you.
Oh, 1 to 2. Now all of a sudden, Mr. Birthday Guy gets to run the whole damn show.
You're damn right. No, I actually had these a couple weeks ago, and I've been waiting on them. I think it's interesting.
January, but somebody drops the ball.
And you're fine. It's fine. So, Ask Can Crushers, live it, love it. And if you're dying for merch, buy something that Crowd made. Where are stuff?
We'll still have the stuff tagged in a description. Go buy some stuff at WWE. Go buy some Crowd made stuff. And listen to us everywhere. All right. When we come back, we're going to dive into the Royal Rumble, and then segment 3 will be AEW. We're going to wrap this one up soon.
This is Joya Blake, and you're listening to Cam Crushers. Keep listening to my wonderful voice.
Welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. That's Sir Michael Jenks. I'm Mark the Mark. Time for the Rumble recap. Why I did that? No. I need to be saving this sickened voice for games later on today, but Jenks, as a whole, we're going to do this different this time because I want to see. We haven't talked about it offline. We haven't texted. We didn't do anything about it. We text during it, but we really didn't give ourselves time to think and talk about it. I talked about it a lot right there, by the way. As a whole, let's rate this first, which we never do.
No, we don't.
Out of a 6-pack, what are you giving this?
The Rumble instantly Royal Rumbles get a 4 instantly just because then we build off of that scale because it's the Royal Rumble. We love that pay-per-view. We love the concept. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6. I'm not going to go full 6-pack, 5 out of 6 because this may be controversial, but I think the Women's Rumble lacked a little bit. but the night picked up as we built up going forward. So I'm going 5 out of 6.
Yes, wholeheartedly. I was between 4 3/4 to 5 1/4.
Yeah.
So let's keep it nice and square. We'll keep it at a 5. Because you're right. Remember the last 2 years we've said the Women's Rumble was everything and the men's kind of petered off.
Yeah.
And you're right, everything built to that end game, which, I don't know, some people are still in shock.
I was.
I was.
Is. I will say.
I was and is.
I was and is. I will say, I think the bigger shock came after the pay-per-view when I sent you and Bucci me in Yeet glasses that I had already had on hand.
Were you trolling us, by the way? Was he a pick for the long haul and you just didn't want to pull the trigger?
I will say I kept him near and dear to my heart, close to my heart. It was yes, maybe it was. Maybe it was. I didn't want to give anything away, go down the happy path, because you don't want to believe that there's going to be a surprise winner in the Rumble. We've been conditioned for the past, 20 years, 30 years, that it's going to be who the biggest draw is leading up to it. Even when Drew won, it was either going to be Brock Lesnar or it was going to be Drew McIntyre. And when Drew won, we were all happy, go lucky in that. This year, there's just so many candidates at the top of the list. Who would have thought Yeet Nation was going to get everybody and yeet their asses out of the ring and win it, right?
How long have you had these glasses, you liar?
For the past month, since after Netflix on Raw debuted. And here's the origin of that. We were watching Netflix on Raw, and I started eating because Jay came out. Kimberly's like, I wonder if they have those glasses out there. And I go, well, they definitely have them out there, right? She went Amazon shop, found a pair, had an assortment of colors, and I said, purple ones if you're going to get me one. Week later.
Placing the order already.
Placing the order, the purple ones show up, and I've had Yeet glasses since at least the first week of January.
Would you, because this is something I want to do, not with Yeet glasses, would you turn Yeet glasses into your prescriptions if you could?
I would love to. I would rock them. Why not? All the time.
You walk into work with Yeet glasses on.
I just want to, as long as they're transition lenses, that's fine.
If this is feasible to make your prescription glasses into Yeet glasses, you would wear that all the time.
I would wear this. Yeah, why not? You wouldn't Yeet?
No. Not at all. I don't have them, but can
they're just
you
like
see
sunglasses. The Yeet you see, obviously, looking out, they're just like sunglasses with Yeet on it.
Okay.
So, I mean, technically you probably shouldn't wear them driving, but hey, whatever.
Probably.
I can still see you very well. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to wear these for the rest of the episode, maybe. We'll see how long they annoy me for. But
they're annoying me already. But no, I'm kidding. I went to the eye doctor recently, and you know what I want? And I forgot to ask him. You know the glasses that have Bluetooth in them that you can make phone calls with?
Yeah, I've seen those.
I was going to ask, if I buy a pair of those, can you put my lenses in those? I was tired and I fell asleep at the eye doctor, so I didn't get to ask.
Maybe in the next 3 years when you go and ask about it.
Yeah.
Mine are, so the script in mine are basically, I'm just starting with astigmatism. And so, but I only need them really for computer looking or driving at night, basically. Always. I don't always need them, so I can kind of take them off from that. That's why I can see, so the Yeet glasses are fine the way they are. But,
okay.
We eat in here.
We eat in here. I did say that to somebody at a basketball game that was another radio station was there, also a big wrestling fan. And as we were wrapping up and we were walking out the door, I'm like, hey, Gary, Yeet? He just looked at me. He's like, I'm more of a yes guy, and you know that. So the Rumble starts with Steph coming out, and I was fine with this for Steph coming out and giving, the flowers to everybody.
Agreed. That was a nice little touch. I was excited Steph came out. I mean, now she's going to have her own TV show and all that stuff coming up here, but it was a nice little surprise.
Fast forward, we'll just talk about it. As we predicted, Charlotte gets a win. She comes in at number 27. And it's not going well with wrestling fans across the world that Charlotte won.
I don't know what people expected. I mean, yeah, it sucks. And obviously they booed her out of the building on Raw. But cheered for her last night when she was trying to be a heel on SmackDown. So pick and choose what you want to do. But deal with it, guys. We talked about it. The three universal facts: death, taxes, Charlotte Flair wins something big when she comes back from injury. It is literally that.
And drops it soon after. She's there to make somebody.
100%.
Or, because I did not watch SmackDown last night, did she pick Tiffy?
It was hinted around. It ended up being...
It was also hinted around on Monday that she was going to pick
exactly.
Rhea.
There wasn't a definite pick made. We're playing around with Tiffy, Nia, her. Alexa came out to throw her hat into the ring, obviously. But, come on. It feels like, though, there's more story and meat to the bone with Tiffy than there is with Rhea. But it's a main event level match if you go Rhea.
Is that the only... I'm going to continue to stir the pot. Is that the only trilogy we're getting at WrestleMania? Because the other one, I don't know if it's on the fucking docket, Jenks.
The other one, based on what happened last night, or at Rumble, probably is not on the docket. And maybe they are. Maybe we are finishing the story of Rhea and Charlotte when I don't think we actually necessarily wanted to finish this trilogy.
Right. I don't know. I smell something fishy here with this whole Charlotte thing. By the way, I'll be the guy. God awful outfit for Charlotte on Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And
just, I don't know, Charlotte. You have so much other better stuff, and it just, something was just awry.
Yeah.
Who is your MVP, essentially, of the Rumble, though, for the women? What spots that you like? Give me your whole synopsis real quick.
Well, I'll tell you the spot I don't like is whatever the hell that barrel of monkeys dump over the top rope that eliminated several.
But more were supposed to be involved.
Yeah. It just looked horrible. I don't know what they were trying to do there. My biggest pet peeve with the women was there was way too many people in the ring at one time, and they never let it go until Charlotte came out. And I think that was the big... actually, until Nia Jax came out, because even when Nia came out, there was still too many fucking people in that ring.
Just to do that spot.
Just to do that spot, which was absolutely insane. I think Chelsea really carried the first half of the night. She was doing a lot of great things. A lot of things that were popping me. I mean,
yeah, me too.
She stepped up big time. I would say Jordan Grace left her mother hanging on her 50th birthday.
Bitch.
I know, just what the hell, man?
It's your mom.
Yeah, go celebrate her birthday. But that rolling Death Valley driver on Piper.
Yeah.
Instant. On Piper. Instant.
Not like it was Roxanne.
Yeah, this was on Piper. Instant star status on her. So that was going to be a big one. Now we're going to see where she ends up and how she aligns with everything. I think that was one of the bigger ones of the night. And then everybody hates it. But we didn't get a Becky or a big name we got a big name at 30. But Nikki Bella kind of fell flat to me.
Yeah, I think it fell flat for a lot. I really do. I heard it hinting earlier in the week that it might be Nikki Bella, yada, yada, yada. I was still hoping that AJ was it, but whatever. I mean, she got I don't even want to say it was a thunderous. She got an ovation for coming out at 30.
Yeah.
She did nothing in there to make you say, man, I hope she gets a WrestleMania moment. Trish again, Trish does nothing for me anymore. I was not ever a big Trish fan in the first place.
Yeah.
So just to have it rekindled all the time, I would have rather seen Michelle McCool because, listen, when she does do her spots, it's something, you know, she gets something in the ring. I give everything to Roxy. Roxy had a hell of a showing. It was unbelievable. I know it's the easy way out, but when we predicted Roxy is going to be making a big splash soon this year, I was shocked that Bliss came back.
I was too.
Pulling the wool over our eyes. Apparently it happened early Saturday morning that they brought her from, listen, she lives in Columbus, right?
Yeah.
Or wherever, but they're in Columbus, so Columbus to Indianapolis is, what, a 45-minute airplane ride, whatever? Yeah. But she took Shotzi out.
It did take Shotzi out, and there was a pic, I can't remember who was in the front of it, but then you see Shotzi in the background just kind of like, well, here I am. Just kind of tried, but it wasn't there. I think Shotzi should have been in it instead of like a Trish or all that, but again, it's the legend pop, if you will. And Alexa deserved her flowers and her roses and that whole scene. The pop alone, the pop of the night for her. And
without a doubt.
It was fantastic.
We were both shocked. This is when we were communicating with each other. Both Steph and Julia show up and we're like, there's no way that they don't get their, you know, they come in to get thrown out. Because tell me what they did.
They just showed up. There were two people in the Rumble at that point. I think here's where I think they could have drawn the line with the amount of people they had in the ring versus who was involved in that. They backloaded the entire Rumble with big names. Put that throughout the match. Julia and Steph, I think, would have been great 7 or 8 coming in, and then they could start eliminating people, and then eventually, like, I don't know, a Bayley or like the Jordan Grace could eliminate them because that sets up future things in NXT and all of that stuff. I just think this could have been put together way better than trying to focus around one singular spot in the Rumble match.
And that's why I'm still stirring the pot saying Nia looks so good in this, with the air quotes. She hasn't really gotten back to Tiffy.
She gets back to Tiffy next week.
Okay.
So they set that match up.
Oh, all right. Well, then I don't need SmackDown.
Yeah, you don't need to. But I will say, going back to your Charlotte comment about something seems off or something seems fishy with this whole thing, do they pull the trigger on her cashing in the Rumble win at Elimination Chamber? Because remember, they've done this in the past with Cena. He cashed in his spot against Orton at No Way Out when he won in 2008, and that's when Orton infamously slapped the referee to end the match, right, to get disqualified. I'm not saying that'll be the end of it, but maybe they pull that for Charlotte because then that eliminates the main event status and scenario that we could be running into here with a potential triple threat on the horizon for the men, plus Cody and whoever he's doing business with, plus whoever Jey Uso decides to face off, whether that is Cody or Gunther or whatever it is. It's a loaded main event scene right now that they have to try to work all of these scenarios into.
And we're still a month, 2 months away before and I'll throw this out there, I don't know if I believe, but does The Rock return to get something? Where's Cena going to be involved?
Yeah.
With what?
Exactly.
Those are two more matches or segments that need to be put in WrestleMania, which will be longer than maybe a tag team match or something like that.
100%. 100%.
So overall, the Women's Rumble, good, entertaining, but like Jenks said, I completely agree, way backloaded this year. Way backloaded. I mean, your two big spots started at 27.
Yeah.
With Flair and then Nia at 29. The men's win this year, by the way.
The men is surpassed.
Up to the tag team match, 2 out of 3, and for 2 out of 3 matches, I was fucking losing my mind on this.
This was fan-fucking-tastic. This was my match. Well, it was going to be my match of the night.
Right.
And it was fantastic in the sense of they had so many neat tag team callbacks and doing things, and the faux tag to get the fall, a la Sheamus and Cesaro. I love that spot. It was fantastic. It was another great thing to kind of roll the tide, and DIY are perfect heels. I will say, though, it got very, very convoluted at the end. I did not like the end of the third fall whatsoever.
And that's why I said 2 out of the 3 falls were great.
Yeah.
Once the Profits come out, help DIY win, then destroy DIY. We're going to get a triple threat tag match at some point. Probably extend this to Toronto.
I do, yeah. I think this is going to end up being a fatal 4-way at Mania with, Yes Boys joining the fray, and pretty deadly. It just has that feeling like they're not going to let it go. Obviously, they are not going to let it go. All 4 of these teams are going to be involved in something, and that's the way to get them all on Mania. But I like the little shatter machine in there to throw a little bit of acknowledgement to their previous 2 out of 3 falls match with FTR, with the Revival at that point. That was a nice little touch, but
I do like DIY kept it, and overall, I do like the match. It was forced. You used that word Saturday when we were talking. It just seemed really forced at the end.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to happen there.
No.
I think you could have got a cheap heel win for DIY and then followed it up Friday night on SmackDown.
Maybe have one-on-one or something with both of these guys, then Street Profits come in and jump in both. I mean, I understand getting Street Profits involved, yes.
Yeah, 100%. But maybe not at the end. Or have DIY win and then have Street Profits attack both teams after the match. That would have been good, too.
Right. How are we getting Pretty Deadly in?
They're lingering. DIY, they've been associated with DIY for a while now. They had an argument. I think it was last week before the SmackDown before the Rumble. They're just there, and I think at some point they're gonna be the comedy act in the Fatal 4-Way that could possibly shock the world and steal it. Yeah, that steal the title maybe for 5 days, whatever it is, and then Profits come and take it back from them. But it's opening up that possibility there.
Yeah, I agree. WWE ladder match, Cody and KO, and motherfucker.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
And the Apostles even. Yeah.
And the Apostles came out and holy shit.
This was great. We knew it was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
We knew they can bring it. I didn't know they were going to, like, this is on the short list right now of matches of the year because the story within the story of the stories.
Yep.
I have minimal notes because I was engulfed.
I was too. I have some notes, but Jesus, this is the first ladder match that I've truly enjoyed in maybe 20 years, 15 years at least. Like, I like ladder matches, but at the same token, it's usually It's very uniform spots that you're doing.
Right.
This one just seemed like it was a car wreck and it was a street fight, and they were just using any fucking thing. They had hornswoggle ladders in there. They were doing whatever they could. It was like
they did some comedy in this as well.
They did comedy. They had a bunch of shit. Cody flying through the arena hanging onto that belt thing.
Would you do that?
No. Fucking no.
Me neither.
I'll wear Yeet glasses, but I will not swing from a fucking title belt 20 feet in the air.
No. We know what happens to those things once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. But, man, it was some of the spots. Ugh. The brutalness.
The one near the end, the suplex. By the way, I really have never bought into this, but I think KO is going to go his whole life without getting suplexed off the top rope, right? This is really his stick. Where he turned it, and both of them hit that ladder just wrong. Just wrong.
It looked painful, to say the least.
Should more have happened then? I don't know. Maybe. But maybe that's why Sammy was sent out, to say, oh, fuck, we just lost two of our top performers.
You guys need to calm it down.
Yeah. Get Sammy out there, because he didn't do anything.
No.
Of note. He did not. He was just there.
But I'll flip that on its head. That's exactly what pushes the storyline to get Sammy package pile driven on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
It was Sammy didn't do a thing to help KO after that point. Because then it led to KO getting an Alabama slam through a fucking ladder and landing basically on his goddamn head.
With his head stuck in the
ladder. Yeah. For fuck's sake. And I don't blame KO for taking it out on Sammy. Screw the bloodline business. That was just like, save your friend there, buddy. It was...
Wow. This one hit a nerve for you.
No, it hit a nerve, but at the same token, it was beautifully told story of Sammy just looking out and checking on his friend and not caring about the title and helping KO get a title. KO's dead, buddy. Like, you're basically incapacitated. That's the ending of a ladder match that, to me, speaks volumes.
Do you think this is... the title's going to be stirring it up or something like that. Do you think that because of that spot, maybe the KO Sammy thing should have happened next week? Like, to really extend that KO was fucking dead, essentially. Because this could carry over. I love that it happened Monday. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because KO's that tough son of a bitch. He can, withstand anything. He's dusting himself off and he's back up already. But I thought when I was watching, I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of upset that KO's here. To give him that 1 week of, then he sits at home and he stews, and then he really has more hate towards Sammy about this.
Well, I agree with your logic on that, but I think for KO's character, this made total sense. He's limping, he's beat the shit, he's out of alignment, and he's a hothead. Hothead is going to win over physical toll all 10 at a time for him. So it made perfect sense he would come out, destroy Sammy, and then go out. Now he's back to cutting promos in his rental cars again.
Right, which are great.
Which are fantastic. And that adds a layer to the story of, I'm done with you. I'm ending you. We were wondering how this gets back to Sammy KO at WrestleMania. We thought it was going to be Sammy KO at WrestleMania. But then it started veering off, and they started going in different directions. And then we're like, well, is this actually going to fucking come back to Sammy KO at WrestleMania? And they crash into each other at this point.
So in Elimination Chamber, Cody defends the title against Sammy, right? That's what we're looking at?
I think so. Because it's in Canada, and then this is where KO comes back and just
does nothing for Sammy.
Exactly. Well, or just cost Sammy the title. Straight up. It's not to help Cody, but it's to prove a point to Sammy.
Yeah. which lingers right there as your WrestleMania match.
Exactly.
Of like Death Member. It's going to be, it will steal WrestleMania, I think.
Oh, 100%. And they could probably just do a normal singles match, but I feel like they're going to put extra mustard on it and go no holds barred or something. And
At this point, I want that.
I do too, because we don't get it often, Sammy versus KO. We've seen it. It's fantastic, but we know the history, and it just needs to be a knockdown, drag out, no holds brawl, bar brawl, wherever the hell it is.
Bar
Let them go. Bar brawl, Baran.
Ooh! Hey, are you going to watch Evolve on Tubi?
I may.
Tubi's a free app, guys. If nobody knows what Tubi is, if you have a Roku TV or any other way to watch anything, Evolve will be on Tubi starting March 5th. I'm excited for that. I really am.
I am too. I think that'll be great. Tubi is doing the Super Bowl for free too. That's how I'm watching it this year because I don't have local channels over here. But I think it'll be great. I think it's going to be
showcase. A lot of people you might not know who they are.
And this is how you get them up to the NXT. And that's what they did that with Sol Ruca.
Yep.
And a lot of people, this is how you spotlight those lesser known talents, get them the reps that they need so that when the time comes to be on the CW, on NXT, they're at a level that makes sense for them there.
Agreed. Speaking of spotlights, did you listen to this past Wednesday when I had Dirty J, Joya Blake on? And she was all over the place. Really was. I had beef with her to start the show because she stomped on a terrible towel at IWC, and then we became besties at the end of the show. Tonight she's got a match. Tonight, as you're listening, she's got a match with another Can Crusher alum, one of the faves, CeCe Young, on the show. We talked everything about how she got into it. So if you haven't listened to that spotlight, head back over and listen to Joya Blake's.
Great.
How about
plug.
that?
That was a nice tie back plug.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job.
Now we get to the men's rumble. And it was over before it started, essentially. Rey Mysterio should have won the men's rumble, right?
I think so. I mean, nobody else was entered. Penta was already eliminated himself at that point. I was like, oh no.
But it got so much better after that.
It got a lot better after that. But you sit there and just think, I had the thought of, man, the men's rumble is going to be rough as the women's. But no, it picked up after that for sure.
This sounds horrible. Let me get this off a second. This sounds horrible. Another Lucha kicking himself in the ass in WWE.
Yeah.
Penta will be remembered for this now.
Oh, yeah.
He's not as bad as Sin Cara did, his thing, but...
He's not, and I will say not a lot of people are talking about it right now, which I think is good, but he's not living this down.
No. Corey tried. No, wait. Wade tried to cover it.
Right? Yeah.
Wade tried to cover it, and everybody else blew it out. They're like, no, his fucking feet were on the ground.
He touched.
And then the angle that they just show you all over social media. Woof. Know who I feel the worst for, though? Tozawa. This was good.
Oh, yeah.
Rumble.
This was an unnecessary celebrity spot. I don't know why Show Speed needed to be a part of it, besides getting fucking railed. And I think it was just a cheap pop for
Breaker.
Triple H. Well, Breaker, and then cheap pop for Triple H to just laugh about him getting fucking steamrolled by Breaker.
Yeah.
And thrown by Otis.
And missed.
And then missed. This was a hazing.
This was. You want to be in wrestling? Here you go. Take a spear from Breaker. Otis throws you. Oh, see ya. Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. You're not in the business. It's like me trying to get in the business. The men's was, for me, I wanted something, though. I like it. I do. I'm all for the Yeet. I wanted Punk. I wanted Cena. I wanted Reigns. The surprise for me of Yeet winning wins this whole thing. There was just nobody. We didn't get Aleister Black. We didn't get. I wanted one big surprise in this.
Yeah.
That was going to be still on the roster. Like, we didn't get that. We got Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's going to be at WrestleMania, I bet you.
Probably. They're probably going to have a TNA title match or something at WrestleMania. Just a spotlight.
Does Jay pick him?
That would be something else.
And we have.
But would that be a disappointment, though?
Oh, it would be a.
Do you want to burn down IWC community, the internet wrestling community?
We all believe in Joe Hendry, but no possible way, right?
No chance.
Okay.
There's no chance. If Jey Uso shows up on TNA next week to just fuck with them, to fuck with everybody else, that would be absolutely ridiculous.
Right. But he doesn't pick him.
There's no way. There's no way he picks him. It would be literally to troll people.
By the way, everybody fucking hates Logan Paul more than Charlotte Flair or anybody else.
Well, it's well deserved. I mean...
And Logan's taking over where Kofi did his shtick.
Yeah.
He's going to be the new Kofi for a while.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't like it.
I mean, if it's Kofi now that he's more dark in nature, not really, more heel in nature, but yeah, Logan Paul is uber athletic. He's younger. He can make those spots happen. But I'm going to be hard pressed to find a spot that he can do that we haven't seen Kofi do before.
Right.
Because the table spot was cool. He jumped to the table, but I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea.
Not mine either. Not mine either. Go ahead. You spill your guts on this one.
I thought this was well put together. We were surprised when we saw Roman at 16 come out. I was surprised there wasn't as much interaction with Fatu. Exactly. They're holding off on this, and I don't know if they're holding off on this until another WrestleMania or a different SummerSlam, but they clearly do not. They have the money match. They know it's there, but they're not acknowledging it right now, and they're not going near it. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic that they had going on. Otherwise, the CM Punk, Roman, John Cena stare down, making Cena feel pretty before Seth came out. It was an iconic in a sense, but it was also like we knew this was coming at some point. And I think it would have done more if it was just like Cena Punk staring at each other.
Right.
I do think like this is where what got me is Roman should have been. They were limiting people throughout, so it just wasn't possible. But I think Roman should have came in and been like a shit brick house, eliminated the ring, but Jacob Fatu was still there. We have that stare down for 10 seconds, then Drew comes out and interrupts the bloodline. That, I think, is the best way. Would have been more impactful for what the Rumble could have been.
Agreed. But it, with Roman not being in and around the finish, really surprised me.
I agree. And I was kind of happy about that when Roman wasn't around the finish. Because then I think it's because of hindsight, it's surprising it wasn't, but then we got that spot outside the ring with all three of them. Punk, Seth, that brutal ass double stomp to Roman.
Yeah.
That solidified it to me that, oh my God, this is way uglier than anything else.
So all three will be in the Elimination Chamber.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think Roman's back until after Chamber.
That's perfect then.
Because
I was going to say, how do we eliminate Those three are just going to beat the shit out of each other in the Elimination Chamber, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Or Roman comes back during the Chamber and costs Punk or something like that. Or costs Seth, whatever it is. But when your head gets drilled into the mat like that, and then you get a second one on top of the stairs, there's no way he's coming back for a while. This was clearly a way to get him out of the Chamber match so he didn't have to take a pinfall. Because he clearly is not going to be in the title picture at WrestleMania. So this was clearly a way he's gone. We'll talk to you after that. Punk, Rollins in the Chamber, Cena in the Chamber pretty much. How do you get the falls for Punk and Rollins? I think they take each other out.
I was going to say, that's where I was going with the whole Roman, Punk, and Seth thing in the Chamber. Do we have three people just essentially beating the shit out of each other, and they get out of the Chamber, and it's made, hey, if you would leave the Chamber, you're eliminated. Somehow, when somebody's coming in, the door accidentally opens or something, and all three of them would fall out. It was going to be hokey.
Yeah.
But it would have worked with all three of them just, waylaying each other the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving the other guys just to put on a match then.
Exactly. It eliminates that possibility from it. But now I think it's easier to get Seth and Punk out instantly. Yeah. They could take each other out before the fucking match, and then it's only 4 people and that's it, or they replace them somehow. I don't know, but
don't be surprised if this gets dirty, that Seth tries running over CM Punk with a car. This storyline right now is made for the television, the storyline.
The theatrics.
Yeah, the theatrics is the perfect word. These two don't have to have anything for 2 months, but shit-stained interactions of cars being run over, getting blown up in the back, or whatever.
Yeah. And then when Roman gets involved, spears off of fucking platforms or that. I think the biggest, the one spot we have never seen in the Chamber match, which rightfully so because the door's closed the entire time, is somebody just getting speared right off the outside of the fucking thing. You get speared in the Chambers. We had Otis run through a fucking wall at one point. Right. But nobody has actually taken a spear impact and go straight out the door with it. Like, that would be a theatrical thing to pull off at this point. But it's not going to happen. But to your point, the months leading up to Mania, it's going to be fucking attempted murder central between these 3 people.
In which is going to be fun.
Oh,
I think this is going to be a storyline that we talk about later. Wow, they've taken them out of the main event of WrestleMania, so to speak, because it's not. It could still be a main event of night one. I'm not throwing that out there, but it's not a title match. Right. It's not a. It's a big money match. I'm trying to cover my tracks because it's the biggest money match probably out there.
Right. And it guarantees the Punk main events match.
Yeah. Those 3, they just bring it night 1. Night 2 is very championship heavy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. I think night 1, you'll get the women's, I think Charlotte's in it, whoever she's facing, maybe a tag title, but then night 2 is you're getting everything under the fucking sun on night 2. And it's a more traditional layout of a pay-per-view in the sense of the World Champions match is at the end. You're going to face here. The titles build up.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if main event is the very first match of WrestleMania, though.
I was thinking that, too.
Gunther.
I think that's going to be the case. Because even if Gunther's involved, unless it's Cena, it's not your main event.
Right.
And for some reason, I've been thinking the past couple of days, well, they've removed Roman from the title picture. They removed Punk. They're removing Seth. There's only one other match that can happen, main event night 2. And it's going to involve Cena and Cody.
Yeah. There's your Elimination Chamber match.
There's your winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jay winning it, night one first match, there's your build-up of your crowd that goes fucking apeshit, that carries night one.
Exactly. Fantasy booking night one right now. I think night one would beat night two, hands down. Because if you're starting it with Jey Uso winning the title from Gunther, and you're ending it with a triple threat between Punk, Roman, and Seth, there's nothing that's going to eclipse that night. And let's sprinkle in a women's title match.
Let's say Rhea and who?
Rhea, Io. That seems to be the path we're on with that. That's going to tear down fucking everything.
After she gets back into the Elimination Chamber. Somebody's going to get hurt and Io's
going to get in. Exactly. So that enters Io back into the conversation. There's probably going to be a tag team title. The Fatal 4-Way match could be that night. That kind of bookends your big title matches for it. Bayley, Roxanne. And then if they put Sammy and Kevin on night one, good night. Or that's going to be the match to kick off night two because they need something big to just tear down the crowd, to just hype the crowd up. And that's going to take everybody and their mother to the moon, essentially.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think you put Sammy, KO, and that triple threat on the same night.
Then you're right. Because that triple threat's going to be an absolute murder mayhem kind of brutality. So then I think it's KO Sammy kicking off night two, which then defeats my whole point that I spent 5 minutes talking about. Because if you put getting that, Cena potentially getting a 17 plus KO Sammy, that's a pretty good card too.
As we're building WrestleMania in our own heads, we have an amazing WrestleMania.
We do.
As long as Trips and TKO listen to us.
They might listen to us and change it all.
Sons of bitches. Did you, back to the Rumble, is there anybody that you're like, wow, you did nothing. You did nothing in this Rumble this year?
I mean, Shinsuke doesn't do anything, but
Finn didn't do anything for me.
Well, to be fair to Finn, nobody knew he was coming out until his music sucks at this point.
Yeah.
But
who the hell is this?
Who's this fucking guy? But yeah, Finn did absolute shit. I mean, Andrade showed up for a cup of coffee and then said goodbye. I don't think there's anybody too over the top. And then we had that whole calamity with LA Knight, Logan,
Drew,
Damian,
Drew's leaving again. He's done. He's pissed off.
It leads to the comment about getting his own shit in on Friday Night SmackDown. That was one of the things. That was miscommunication. It didn't make sense. Whatever it was, you could look at it in different ways. But at the end of the day, Damian and Drew were basically in there just to set up WrestleMania.
Right.
So it was like, you didn't give me anything worthwhile.
You weren't going to be involved in the finish, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But to my point though, I think it should have been Damian, Drew, Cena, Jay. Would have been a better Final Four than what they put out there. I get they wanted Logan to get the shine and people to think, oh my God, he's going to actually win this. Nah, give it to the two guys you're building a WrestleMania match for because they need that momentum. And then you avoid that whole shitstorm that happened in the middle of it.
Agreed. Neither one need momentum. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because they have it.
Right.
Cena does need some. So I'm going to contradict myself because, listen, this is his first thing back in forever.
Yeah.
You could tell that story that it was, so close. People were like, oh, man, he's going to get in the Elimination Chamber. And he didn't take questions in the presser. He just released a thing. Hey, yeah. I'm going to Hungary to do a movie, but I'm going to be back for Elimination Chamber. Look the hell out. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
That was his story. That was you felt horrible for him that on tippity toes he just fell off. Mm-hmm. Man, I hope he does something in the Elimination Chamber. And he does.
He does.
Well.
He's going to tear through it. And I saw a lot of people were upset because he's not around more. He's doing more filming. He still has 30 some days left on his contracted dates for this year.
And it's only fucking February. People settle down.
Exactly. He's going to gear up for WrestleMania, and then if he's champion, he's going to be there a long time being the champion.
Summer Cena.
And it'll slow down a little bit, and then we're going to pick back up to what apparently may be a new pay-per-view in December to end Cena's reign. Did you hear about this?
No, but I'm hearing fire whistles or something. So
well, there's some sort of rumor has it that there's going to be a December pay-per-view called Ruthless Aggression, and that's kind of the way to cap off Cena's run, basically. Of his retirement.
Does it come out as Prototype or Thugonomics?
I hope it's, well, you know what, Prototype. Let's just hope for Prototype at that point.
I'm hoping Thugonomics. I really am.
Thugonomics would be fantastic. There is going to be a Cena rap battle at some point in Summer of Cena.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got anything else on Rumble?
Nothing else on Rumble.
All right. Overall, good. We both gave it a 5. We enjoyed it. Yeah, it's our favorite pay-per-view. It really is. Just for the spectacle of it.
100%.
Take a quick break, come back, do a brief synopsis of AEW, essentially, and then wrap this one up.
Hey, this is Mariah May, the glamour, but you knew that. And you're listening to Can Crushers.
Welcome back, Can Crushers. It's time to talk about dubs, and I think boom. I like that.
Dynamite going off.
I like that. Or Big Boom, AJ, or whatever the hell those Costco people are.
As I was saying, bring it to this family again.
They showed up on their TikTok at some point, or their Instagram. I'm gonna go right to
what I read it right off the bat.
With that Instagram, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were comparing them to like some sort of fucking zoo animal or puppy or something like. Because for the Puppy Bowl, they were doing comparisons.
By the way, you watching that?
I do like the Puppy Bowl.
I'm going to
watch the Puppy Bowl. Puppy Bowl is getting on, so that's happening. Hopefully, Saquon Barkley's gonna win the most valuable pup. But anyways, Stop,
because now we went down this path. Who are you, not for Puppy Bowl, but who are you picking in the big game? Because I don't know if we're licensed enough to say Super Bowl on here. Yes. But who are you picking in the big game?
I'm going to go Philadelphia.
Damn it.
I can't root for the Chiefs. I cannot root. I don't want. They have played horribly this year, and somehow they're 15-2. And I don't understand how they only have 2 losses. Like, I've watched some Chiefs games, and I'm looking at it like, how are you on paper 15-2?
I'm only rooting for one thing. Taylor to get her ring. I could give 2 shits about the football game. I like either one.
Listen, I'm the man that wanted the Bills Lions or Bills Commanders Super Bowl.
Me too.
That would have happened, eyes glued. I will say, if Tay-Tay gets a ring, cool, whatever. But I will also say I need Philadelphia to beat Kansas City because I don't want to hear about he three-peated. I don't want to hear about the three-peat. I'm just done with that. So.
I get it.
Yeah.
AEW time.
AEW time. I'm starting with the best story that might be going on in wrestling right now. Mariah and Tony impersonating Mariah May. Spot on. We're ready to go for Grand Slam.
We are ready to go for Grand Slam. It's happening at some point tonight after NBA stuff, by the way. At some point.
Oh, no, it's next week.
It's already happened.
No, it's next week.
It's next week. Yeah. At some point next Saturday, it's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it'll happen way before you see it.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to get the results way before you see it.
You know this is my favorite thing in wrestling right now. It really is. Tony did not need to do this. I hated this.
You hated this?
She's now just copying Mariah. Mariah was the one to do this first. Mariah is the one that is so much better than Tony. This was just horseshit. Tony's just trying to be like so much like Mariah that she just doesn't understand.
Are you standing up for a Can Crusher alum there? Is that what's happening here?
I am, but I also love Mariah. And Tony didn't need to do the same path that Mariah used. She's just a copycat.
That's the point. Impersonation is the sincerest form of flattery, right?
No,
that's what I know you did. I knew you weren't being serious, but I was going to play along. This was
hands down the fucking greatest thing I've seen on TV this week.
It went up against the Rumble and won.
Yeah, yes. And the match was fucking amazing by itself.
Oh, it was. Again, we talked about this. Queen Aminata, phenomenal, underrated, and
by far.
Perfect choice to have this match because then she was mocking Tony. There was layers put on here. Everything about this was spot on.
Truth be told, though, I really do want Mariah to win this. I know it's going to be fun because
it's in Australia, but at the same token, it adds to the story that Mariah is
we're going to get a trilogy.
Exactly, we're going to get a trilogy, probably at All in Texas, but then it adds in Mariah solidified herself as a champion. It wasn't just a bookmark between beating Tony and then eventually losing to Tony in her home country. It was Mariah is the established world champion. And that's how you build somebody up and keep them going. If she loses here, no big deal, because Mariah doesn't lose anything on that.
Right.
But I think it's powering through the emotions. We can then play another portion of Timeless Tony Storm of, I was too emotional. I need to get back to basics or something along those lines to develop that character even further.
This could continue to go on. You know how we always say there's meat on the bones for the bloodline. They're doing this with these two women, and
there's meat on the bones.
They could sell me the phone book, and if people don't even know what a phone book is anymore, and I'm buying it from them, and I'm like, oh man, I need a phone book from Tony Storm and Mariah May.
Exactly, and you'll buy it and think it's going to be the most entertaining fucking thing that there could be.
I know they look alike. Okay, this is me being so gullible. I know they look alike. Who looks more like the other one? You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did Mariah look more like Tony, or did Tony look more like Mariah?
I think Tony looked more like Mariah.
Do too.
Like, when Mariah did Tony, you knew it was Mariah, but it was in Tony's outfit, so it made sense. This was kind of like eerily spot on. Even with two different color hairs going on, it was kind of spot on.
Right.
And that's what makes her timeless in an actress, right?
I'd really, whoever thought of all of this is a creative genius, because this has just been carrying AEW in fucking total.
I'm going to be completely honest. Whoever it is, I think it is probably that creative fucking wild couple that's Tony Storm and Juice Robinson, and they're the ones that have been cooking this whole thing. Juice needs something to do while he's injured. And this is the absolute thing that he came up with.
In Mariah, not saying that she's winning the benefits of it, because she's uber athletic, all over the world, yada, yada, yada. The dance partner is there, and they're fucking waltzing all over our faces right now.
100%. They have executed this storyline perfectly. From the beginning as her understudy to now this whole back and forth between the two rivalry, beautifully told and perfectly executed.
Does the shoe come this week prior to?
She's got to play in at some point, right?
You would think. You would think.
Or it's how we kick off the match. She takes off, whips out a shoe and just throws it at her, and then we're off and running.
What else you got?
Adam Page chasing Max Caster around, and then we get another interaction with MJF, which we can get into that whole thing with him, but Page interrupting MJF, this has to be, we talked about this last week, this is the Revolution match at some point.
It's gotta be.
But why are we just two ships in the night right now that are literally passing each other on television?
Because we don't need anything else from these two. Because, listen, Hangman is just nothing against Caster, because we like Caster. He's keeping his time busy, chasing Caster.
Yep.
MJF's dealing with old folks. Now he's got to deal with Dustin.
Yeah.
They don't want to say, here it is, yet.
Yep.
But we'll just continue to hint, oh, they looked at each other. Okay. Stay out of my way. Stay out of here. Okay, we're not going to do anything to each other. We respect each other. Yada, yada, yada.
I think in the next week or two, I think at Grand Slam Australia, actually, there's going to be a blow-off point because Max got pissed in his promo this week. So now it's very much he's acknowledging it and he wants answers. So at some point he's going to put his hand right in Page's chest and say, what the fuck, bro? What are you doing?
Yeah, why are you always out during my shit?
Yeah. Why are you interrupting me?
And then Page just goes apeshit crazy and beats him in the face for no reason.
Exactly.
And that's enough that all we want.
That's how we get there.
I'm an old cowboy. If you hate old people, I'm an old cowboy. Let's go.
Exactly. And speaking of old cowboys, Dustin out there trying to challenge MJF. Now, why is it the Legend Tour with MJF until we get Hangman? What? Oh, I just had the epiphany.
He really did, folks. Like he just raised his hands like he just saw Jesus. Go ahead.
I didn't know if you had a reason behind this or if
no.
you anything. Okay, so we've had him basically go after the last outlaw. We've had him go against this old, rusted veteran. Dustin Rhodes comes out. Heart of the South. He named
himself the last something too.
Yeah, he named himself. I can't remember what he said. The last something. Outlaw, whatever Dustin said. Very cowboy-related terms, right? Are they forcing a foreshadowing for Page? Hangman Adam Page, because everything has been Western related leading up to this point. They have placed Western related.
That's essentially what I just said. Yes, by saying that the Hangman Page is the last cowboy.
Right. Well, I just had that thought. So okay, I didn't pick up on what you were throwing down, but it's the last cowboy in the sense of he's just the last one in existence. Is how I took it. Not connecting the dots where we were foreshadowing with Jarrett, Rhodes, and now
with the Wild West or something.
Yeah, it's a clash of styles, basically. Okay, well, I'm slow, so I finally caught the speed.
The pretty boy, the guy that's got all the money, MJF, that lives up in Yonkers, New York, or where the hell he lives. And he's got tons of money against, a dirtbag living on a ranch. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Let's see. It just took me a while.
That was a really slow epiphany then.
It really...
For like the last couple of weeks.
I need another coffee because it did not come anywhere close to happening for me. But...
Okay.
Anyways.
Do you like puppets? Harley Cameron is actually very talented across the board, from singing, wrestling, puppetry, everything that she does.
She's way more talented than I thought she was. I believe she has some degrees, too. She's smart on top of all of this. Harley Cameron has found a way to stick out.
Stupidly. Which is amazing.
But it's what you need, yeah. Tony Storm, this whole timeless gimmick, stupid thought on paper, but has been brilliantly executed. I'm not saying Harley's puppetry or anything, but she's standing out. She's making herself different than just another woman or another face in the locker room, and I think that's helping out tremendously and building up for something greater down the line.
Oh, yeah, she's losing against Monet in her fifth match. She's
We're
only
not-
got one win on her career.
Well, let's play this. What if she wins?
Good.
It's
Good,
just-
because then the TBS title can do what the TBS title is supposed to be. Floating between Julia and Sky Blue and Harley and this to establishing this younger talent.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they just pull the trigger and say, okay, Fluke win. She wins the TBS title. I do think, though, it wouldn't be a long title reign, and I think it would go right back to Mercedes, but it would be more of a, holy shit, anybody can do something at any point in time type mentality. And I think that's kind of what they want to do with, they should do with that. Just kind of like, she may only have one win, but she could beat you.
She's the Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz, blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah. I'd be all for that. And, of course, Mercedes, the next week on Collision or whatever, I want my rematch. Not that AEW, this is their words, gives rematches. She'll get her a rematch, and it'll be a beatdown to no other.
Yeah.
Or is this that Mercedes needs to go defend those titles elsewhere, and then she comes back to get it, or, you know, it revisits stat, and then Mercedes like, hey, I lost this by fluke, I should get a title shot when she does come back, because maybe TBS is like, this title needs to be defended more on TV.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And to that point with the stat, Nestle builds in, I beat you twice, give me my title.
Yeah.
So, yeah, could be.
I mean, she's carrying 4 titles around right now. Sometimes is it too many?
I think so. I think all the time it's too many.
I do too. I really do. 2 is cool. Anything more than that, you're like, oh, okay, it's not doing anything for any other women in the division.
100%. It's not. I think if you do it as a one-off, one night, somebody wins the titles, whatever. Okay, cool. That happens. Then you just hand them off and be done. The 4 title thing, just too much.
Yeah. So, yeah, do I want Harley to win? Fucking right I do.
Yeah.
And then the title gets back to what
it used to be.
Maybe Julia's sniffing around, because the Hounds of Hell and the Callis Boys,
yeah,
it was a decent match.
It was a very decent match. I think it was too early if you're trying to reestablish the Hounds of Hell as somebody that you want to be a threat. So apparently they're just winning to feed people victories. Legitimate victories is what they're going to be.
Yeah, but they'll bounce back.
Maybe, but I just feel like they're going to be what the House of Black was. They're going to build up, and then you lose to, like, the Young Bucks, or in this case, Don Callis family. Just to establish them for the match coming up in a week.
I was going to say that they only lost because Omega and Ospreay.
Yeah, was on the horizon. They needed a win.
Are winning in Australia.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yep. Maybe.
What do you got next?
Guns are back.
Guns up.
For some reason, taking on a Hurt Syndicate next week, so that relegates them right back to nowhere because they're not going to drop the titles. Hurt Syndicate's not dropping that title that quickly.
No, not at all. They got a big pop, though.
They did. But the Ass Boys are just not going to do it, so.
No.
Swerve and Ricochet. Tear the house down. Ricochet is going to have to get some discs realigned in his back after that powerbomb on the barricade. Jesus Christ.
I saw that, and I'm like, you're going to fucking snap him in half.
Yeah.
Like, They did it! Jesus Christ, they did it!
The trust you have to have. And Swerve is a professional wrestler. Swerve is one of the best professional wrestlers to keep you safe and make it look nasty. So I get it. I wasn't surprised Ricochet won, though.
Oh, I wasn't either. He's way too high right now.
Yeah. Giving him the
Swerve
win.
didn't need it.
No, Swerve doesn't need it. It sets up a pay-per-view match at some point between the two, but probably at Revolution. And I think it was a nice touch that the embassy robe that Prince Nana had was stolen in this regard, because now this also gives him something to fight about. It gives Swerve even more motivation, makes it even more personal between the two. It adds an element to it.
It's a whole Undertaker earn.
Yeah.
Every so often something needs stolen from somebody, so there's a story of just, oh, he took my shit. I want it back. And it's okay, because those stories usually end up being good.
Yeah. It's not like a Judy Bagwell on a pole match or anything like that. So.
Correct. I watched a lot of AWA this week. Well, not a lot, just probably like 3-hour documentary about stuff that they did in AWA. And I forgot they actually were the first ones to come up with the whole competition, like the Continental Classic or the G1.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff that they were doing, strongest head competition, you know, for dog collar match, you would put it around your neck.
Right.
You would put this contraption on your head, and it would be a tug of war with your head. They had a turkey on a pole match. It was at the tail end of AWA to try to get watches and everything. My voice is going to be horseshit, by the way, for the basketball game.
You're going to have to rest those goggles.
But yeah, they were the first ones to start it, and they didn't do anything with it. There was weeks that they kind of like, because it was 3 teams, 4 teams, I don't remember now. The scores didn't match each week. Just throwing that out there. That they're like, this guy wins 16 matches a week. I'm like, oof. I don't remember what it was called offhand. If you want to look it up, this type in AWA competition, whatever. It was really during the last part of their years.
Yeah.
It started off meaning well. And then this thing went for a year and a half before it just like, okay, Larry Zbyszko's team wins.
That sounds horrible.
It was horrible. But they are the first ones that thought of this competition thing. This did not do it right. That's why they're out of business.
I get it. And at some point, you just throw shit at a wall to hope that it sticks.
Yeah. Turkey on a pole match. Match.
I still can't wrap my head around strongest head match. I think.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like something you would see on that fucking bare knuckle bullshit you watch for West Virginia.
It
just seems like it's like a stupid ass. We're drunk and we're putting it on our neck.
Competition.
It seems like it's on that because it's just like we're drunk and we need to do something and we have these fucking contraptions for our heads. I immediately thought they were going to run at each other with the contraptions on their heads and like try to headbutt each other.
No, it's a tug of war, Jenks. Come on. By the way, I did pull the trigger. I'm going next Saturday to Wheeling. Third row. I went all in.
The mutants you're going to see. But
you don't think that you're not getting pictures that night?
Oh, I know I'm getting pictures that night. Thank you.
I'm trying to make pay-per-view on this, by the way. Not that I have any idea how you legally watch it.
On that note,
are paying for it.
I want to know who pays for it.
I do too. I really do want to know who's paying for this.
Somebody's paying for it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. By the way, during the Rumble, I could not. Jesus Christ, Mark, you're throwing yourself under the bus. There was one on, and I could not watch it.
got a picture. He's like, I can't help it. And I'm like, oh my God.
At one point I had 3 screens going. I had the Rumble on, I had my boys from the West Virginia Top Man competition, and on the laptop I was watching the Bananas game. Not paying attention to any of them because I'm like, holy shit, this is whole. Maybe I need to redo the living room again with 3 big-ass TVs.
You need a big-ass TV for each competition.
This is my life, by the way. When I die, and this is your life, Mark. It is going to be filled with TVs and random shit that people shouldn't watch. That sounds like I was watching porn. It was not. I'm just saying.
You know what? You're living your best life.
I'm living something. What else do you have on AEW? Or are you good?
I'm good after that. I mean, there's no topping that.
So if anybody wants to meet me in Wheeling, I will be there next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Doors open at 7 or something like that. Let's chit-chat about this whole Tough Man thing and tell me to watch it. That in itself. It's unbelievable. What do you got going on this week? Listen, I got a couple basketball games. I have a spotlight to record for the week. Oh, I have snowstorms out the ass coming if you look at the weather on a 10-day. And for the lovers out there, it's Valentine's Day. You doing something schmancy-fancy for your wife?
Yeah, I think we're going to end up going to a fancy schmancy dinner at some point, someplace, somewhere. So we haven't figured that out. We haven't even talked about it yet. But outside of that, probably wedding stuff. It's coming. It's coming fast. It's
now the middle of February. It was the beginning of February. It's now the middle of February.
We're getting close to 90 days out. That's how close we are right now. So, shit's going fast.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's it. Okay.
All I got.
All right, guys. We think a shortened version. I don't know. I didn't look at times that much. It's definitely shortened than 4 hours. So
yeah. It's about 2. So
yeah, not much more shorter.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna edit this up. We love you. You're gonna be listening to this in about an hour from when I'm editing it. Jenks, I love you, brother.
Love you too. Have a good week. Be blessed. And going back to what we talked about, keep your mental health in top of mind. If you need it, take your time, breathe, and just think about it. We joke here about a lot of things, but keep in mind your mental health, and if you need to reach out to somebody to talk to them.
Yeah. Even if it's an email to us, we'll get right back to you.
Yeah.
But remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.
Whoop, whoop.